Hello YouTube, my name is SamsVlogs-N-Vids, and this is another episode of One Take Thoughts. Alright, this video is going to be about a rather interesting quirk that a lot of great new music acts have that, although that may not be a problem currently as of this moment, may be a problem in just a very short time in the future. Let me give you two examples of what I'm talking about. Christone, Kingfish, Ingram, and the Warning. Let's start with Kingfish. He's an outstanding blues musician. And he's also totally humble too. I met him after the concert I went to back in March of this year. And the Warning. 3 Mexican sisters who perform absolutely mind-blowing rock and roll, and you wouldn't even know that they're a 3-piece band until you actually see them. Now, what do these two bands have in common, despite performing 2 different genres of music? Despite the fact that they are well under 25 themselves, if you go to one of their concerts, you will notice that for Kingfish, it's around 90% here, and for the Warning, it's around 75%. Their fans are old enough to be their parent or grandparent. And although this may not seem like a problem now, what the hell's going to happen in around 10, 15, 20 years when a lot of these people either start dying off or are too old to want to schlep themselves to a concert? We need to get more young people interested in this type of music. The problem is, that's a huge undertaking. And the reason why is very simple. A lot of the young people in this country, under the age of 25, have grown up music poor. And what do I mean by music poor? They have been flooded, thanks to the mainstream entertainment media and mainstream record labels basically dictating what they should listen to. A lot of them have been listening to so much auto-tuned pop dreck and mumble rappers that they don't know what is good when they actually hear it. Now, I remember years ago, there was a Cracked.com article, and don't get me wrong, I love that website until they fired around 60% of their staff and kept recycling the same articles over and over again. But they ran an article called The 5 Stupidest Habits You Develop Growing Up Poor. Now, they mean monetarily poor. But let me read to you a rather interesting piece from that article here. Now, they were talking about, basically, about when you grow up basically being forced to eat, crummy food from, frozen out of a box or out of a can, you're not going to know how to react when you finally learn to eat, when you finally get a chance to eat real food, when you actually start becoming more monetarily, well. And this is basically what they said. I'll put it up on the screen also. When you finally get to the point where you can afford those grocery trips and fresh ingredients and have the time to prepare them, your taste buds freak the blank out. They're not used to it. Vegetables are supposed to be squishy, aren't they? Is chicken supposed to have this texture? No. It's not like you're eating food for the first time, staring at asparagus in wide-eyed bewilderment, not knowing whether to put it in your mouth or rub it on your skin until it absorbs right into your body. But a lot of this new stuff sucks by comparison because it's not what you've been trained to eat. The flavors and textures are all wrong. And there's a real temptation to keep eating the same blank until it stops your heart at age 43. Now, I don't think that listening to crappy music is going to make your heart stop, but it is going to basically mess up your eardrums and brain to the point where you may not be able to actually appreciate good music when you finally hear it. I was watching a YouTube video by this older music producer, and he was talking about how auto-tune for years and years was used as a crutch rather than an actual legit tool to, smooth out flaws in music. And one comment by someone said, as best I can remember, this: the biggest problem with young people only listening to auto-tune pop track is that they're not going to know what good voices are supposed to sound like or good instruments are supposed to sound like. And if you take, this gentleman actually wrote in the comment section, I took my daughter to a music festival with a couple of her friends, and these poor girls were so used to hearing auto-tune pop divas that when they actually had a chance to hear real voices for the first time, they were like, oh, she can't sing, pitchy all over the place, blah, 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 blah. And that's the problem. When you grow up music poor, your eardrums and your brain is not going to know what to think of actual real music and instruments when you hear them for the first time. Your brain is literally going to be like, what? Is that how drums are supposed to sound like? Is that supposed to be how a guitar sounds like? Oh my god, is that how a real voice is supposed to sound like? Where's the auto-tune? Oh my god. And that's the problem with getting a lot of young people in to actually good music, is that how do you deprogram them from all the crap they've been listening to for all these years? It's going to be extremely hard. Now, I know what you're thinking. But didn't the Warning just tour with Halestorm and the Pretty Reckless? Well, that's the thing. Halestorm and the Pretty Reckless has been around for years now, so they have actually got a chance to build up an audience. Whereas the Warning, when they did their headlining tour earlier this year, they had to play in smaller venues. I hope that changes, but again, we got to get young people into listening to good quality music, but it's going to be hard, of course, when they've grown up music poor. Now, another thing too, what is it with the lack of guitar solos even in modern rock songs? I'll tell you what the problem is. I was talking to a friend recently about it, and he goes, guitar solos stop the song. It's almost as if the musician is being self-indulgent and showing off. Really? Then why do some of the biggest classic rock staples all have guitar solos? Actually, and to be honest with you, they actually, believe it or not, my friend shares the same thought process as quite a few people, it turns out, because when record labels, mainstream ones, obviously not the specialty labels that actually care about music, but the mainstream labels actually ran focus groups with a bunch of, potential record buyers, and a lot of the younger buyers view instrumental soloing as showing off. Really? I consider it, showcasing your talent, not showing off, but whatever. I think it was Tom Morello that actually said that the reason why you don't see a lot of guitar solos in modern rock songs is because the guitarists simply aren't as good. I don't buy that either. There's actually a lot of really talented guitarists that don't do guitar solos for whatever reason. But anyway, that's all really I have to say about this. If you want, you can like, comment, subscribe, share this video, whatever, all that jazz. And again, we got to get more young people interested in rock, metal, and blues. That's all I have to say. Otherwise, pretty soon we're going to be left with a bunch of auto-tuned pop track because there'll be no one around to listen to the good stuff. But anyway, that's this episode of Sam's One Take Thoughts, and you guys have yourself a great day. And once again, please like, comment, and share this video if you wish. Bye-bye, guys.